great, thanks. And everybody, if you got any questions that come up throughout the course of the webinar, just go ahead and chat them, or you can send them to Wendy, and then we'll make sure we have plenty of time for answering questions at the end of the session. So, but we like to say that, learn to lead, manage to succeed, and we try to create an intuitive approach. You read a lot of books and things like that, but the bottom line is, how do you instinctively use these tools? How do you get better? And so what I want you to do is walk away today with a few things that you'll find really useful, that you'll say, that helped me a lot. And again, I'll give my email address at the end, and love to get your feedback and thoughts on how we can improve. So when you're looking at your own individual growth, all right, there's 5 spheres of competence that you really got to think about. So if you want to look at your career, whether you're just starting a career or if you've got a few gray hairs like I do, you kind of look at these 5 things. And whenever you're thinking about where are my career stallers, because very frequently our careers are more defined by those limitations than by our strengths. And so you want to think about management of yourself, all right? That's getting up on time, doing those things, reliability, managing your finances, your emotions. How do you manage yourself? And that's the first key element. Then professional technical skills, what the market pays you to be or do, and what value you add. And then working with others. And so those 3 that you see from top left, top right, bottom right, are entry level. And if you think about any job you've ever interviewed, all of the questions that they ask you really kind of get back to it. Well, tell me about yourself. Tell me about when you did this. Tell me about time you worked with somebody. Those 3 are categories that will help you refine your story and help you be more impactful when you're dealing with any kind of job promotion, career, and where do you want to go. Once you get those basic 3 down, then you learn the management of others and processes, management of things, and then you go to this nebulous leadership thing. And so those are the 5 spheres of competence that we look at when we're talking with anybody and doing individual coaching or group coaching and helping them grow in those spheres. So think about where you're at, where you want to go, and what your goals are, and these 5 spheres will help you kind of figure that out. All right, so when you're thinking about your own ability and what you can do, you kind of think about these spheres, okay? What's within your control? What do you actually control in your life? Well, and for me, what I generally think of is I control what I see first thing in the morning when I look in the mirror. And that sometimes is questionable, whether that's control or not. I'm often aware, but not always in control. And you yourself have probably thought, this is the best speech I'm ever going to regret, or the best email I should not have sent. And so that was within your control. Then there's that what's within your influence, which is greater. And then you're aware of a lot more things that you really don't have influence of, but you're aware of them. And then there's everything else. And so as we grow and learn about adaptive leadership, you want to think about your own, what you control, what you can influence, and how do you get better at doing these things. And so growing your influence, you start here at the bottom, and you kind of manage yourself. You lead by example. You control the process and how you work on that. And then you grow in your career, and you're managing others, you're leading teams, and you manage department, leading leaders, managing locations, leading entire business units, and managing the enterprise and leading the whole business. And so you think about, how do I grow? What is it that's going to get me to that next level? And the 2 things that come back over and over again is your ability to work with others and the ability that others to feel good about you working with them. Because every time you make an investment in somebody, then they're going to remember that. Also, if you ever create animosity or hostility and frustration unnecessarily, they'll remember that too. So if you seek to manage others, you got to first manage yourself. You got to have credibility with the organization. A lot of times people have the formal authority and the formal title, but they're not always seen as that impactful leaders. And they'll often look to, the boss will say something, and then somebody else who's got more seniority and say, well, what do you think? Okay, well, he agrees, so we'll do what the boss says. And that's informal power that has often more persuasion than formal power. And the bottom line is the personal example you set every day is your greatest testimony. Are you consistent? When I deal with you, do I know what to expect, good times and bad times? Or are you kind of like walking in a minefield, depending on which way you step, you're not sure where it's going to go off. And so your own credibility and how you're seen. Now, Lou Holtz, who was the coach of Notre Dame from 86 to 96, and the last time Notre Dame won a championship in 1988, had 3 things he liked to say. all right? And they're questions that you ask, they felt any leader they would ask, all right? First was, can I trust you? If they don't trust you, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to think about working with you. And do you care about me? All right, I might be able to trust you, but do you actually care about my individual development? And committed to excellence. Those three things Lou Holtz just preached over and over again, and they kind of become, you know, and I like them as foundational things to help you think when I'm trying to get somebody to support me or to be involved in a project I'm working on or to be a partner in a you know, a different project or a venture I'm taking on, they ask, you know, do I trust you? And do you care about me? Are you committed to excellence? And the last one I add is, are you going somewhere I want to go? Because I could have all the top three, but if we're not really aligned and you don't think that, you know, for instance, right now, all of you on this line have other things you could be doing. Matter of fact, some of you are probably doing something else right now, typing and writing emails and have this on background, so pay attention. And as we go through this, you are going to be an hour later in time. So you're investing an hour in time in me, and so hopefully you'll get some value out of it. And that's the value proposition. So every interaction we have, we're making these choices. Am I going to get something out of this? Do I value? Are we going somewhere that's going to be good for me, that's going to... So when you think about leadership, these are four things people ask of you. And there's two fundamental elements of leadership that you got to think about. One is leaders are going someplace, all right? Leaders are going, and I like this little scene from the Alice in Wonderland with the Cheshire Cat. And, you know, it's like, tell me where I should go. So where are you trying to get to? I don't really care. Well, it doesn't matter which way you go. So if you don't really have a destination, you're not sure where you're going, then any direction will get you there. So the first place is that leaders are going someplace, all right? Follow the leader means movement. People are moving along. Then people are following them, all right? And if you're leading and no one's willingly following you, then are you really leading? Are you really, you know? And also, on the other side, is if you have to drive people, if you have to coordinate or yell or scream or whatnot and drive people, you're not really leading there either, are you? You're just kind of driving. So sometimes there's different tools in the toolbox, but for the most part, generally speaking, if people aren't willingly following you, you need to question your leadership. And I like this quote from Dwight Eisenhower. So leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something that you want done because he or she wants to do it. And when you're thinking about control, when folks are not within your eyesight, are they actually doing what you want them to do? Do you know? And the only real control in life is self-control. And so do folks do what you want, even when you're not around? And only if they want to do it can you really understand. Like if you've got teenagers, and do your teenagers do what you want them to do, even when you're not around them? So now let's just talk about leadership styles. All right, this is some pretty classic stuff, but we're going to add some new twists to it. So 1970s, situational leadership came out with Hersey and Blanchard, and they kind of looked at these models, and they built upon some work that was done in the 1950s, and it became very popular as situational leadership. And then they kind of split their own different ways, and you know, everyone thinks, you know, Ken Blanchard and situational leadership, and he's done amazing work with that. But it started here, building on some work that was done previously. And I always give credit to my sources. Thanks, Wikipedia. And now, if you think about a practitioner's approach, there's pros and cons to the leadership theory. It's a good framework. It improves your approach and increases your effectiveness. But like other theories, and Edward Pelham-Bax was a great statistician. I love this quote. Essentially, all models are wrong, but some are useful. So we're going to take this basic model, and then how do you make it useful and find your own voice to make you more effective as a leader? So let's talk about the
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Malutis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.